Kory, a change needs to be made, and you are that change. We're letting you go. It's the worst day of my life. And it happens, right? We're asked to leave a position that we love. Things outside of our control happen that we have no control over, and they impact our workplace, they impact how we do our jobs, they impact our families. And the question is, how do we bounce back? It's resilience. I would argue that resilience is the most important trait of effective leaders. To be a leader worth following, we need to be people who can bounce back when things go against us. Because we can't control what the markets in Southeast Asia are going to do. We can't control what the White House is going to say about electric vehicles. We can't control the people around us, but we can control how we are going to respond. I think about my friend Ty. You see, earlier this year, the Republican State House of Michigan released a state budget that took dedicated out-of-school time funding from $57 million and said it was going to go to zero. Ty is the CEO of the Boys and Girls Club of Holland. They receive about $500,000 every year to provide programming after school for kids who need it. And he was looking at zero. So what did Ty do? He met with his team, he came up with plans, they talked to funders to find alternative ways to fund these programs. They came up with new ideas and new programs to fill what they thought was going to be a gap. I think about Emily, who when she received news of that same budget, they are an organization who provides after-school art classes to kids who don't have community anywhere else. And she was looking at zero. So what did she do? Emily picked up the phone and she called her friends and she mobilized a grassroots advocacy effort to call their state representatives, to call their state senators. Emily does not like politics. And she became a campaigner. And then at 5:40 a.m. on the day after the state needed to approve the budget, lo and behold, $75 million for dedicated out-of-school time funding. Now, Ty and Emily, they could have just bemoaned and wailed how awful it was that they were looking at zeros where previously they had hundreds of thousands of dollars in funding. They could have looked at that and said, thrown their hands up and just said, we give up, we quit. But instead they put their heads down, they gathered their teams around them, they mobilized their people, and they responded. Jorge, when the city of Zeeland had residents who were stepping up and saying, we don't want Meade Johnson expanding a factory in our hometown. You could have said, I'm out. So we don't care. Ed, as you look at declining EV sales and drastic changes to the automotive industry, you could pretend that nothing is changing. You could just throw your hands up and say, we can't do anything about it. Or be like Ty. Come up with new ideas, new programs, new initiatives. You can be like Emily. You can mobilize people around you to support and do things that you never thought possible. You can learn new skills. Or even some of us find ourselves, when we need to be resilient, we pivot, step into a completely new career path, where we get to leverage the same skills and experiences we had before, but we get to use them in a completely new way. Regardless of what we do, we want to be a leader worth following. Cultivate resilience.